papa, you can be the mom. Oh, oh. Because the girl them broke out on the floor. From you don't wanna work as performer. From you don't wanna man, we can't turn you on. Girl, we can see you when them upon ya. Can't stand for the long, not eat no yam, no steamed fish, no green banana.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, this one's gonna be messed up, guys.
This one is gonna be messed up. So, yeah, you're reading that title right. This is the Bryceston lore episode, and there's a couple reasons why we did this, and are finally going to explain a little bit more about our mysterious friend and roommate and guest of It's Been a While podcast. Friend. He is our friend now. He almost died, so I guess he has to be our friend. But his father, Kingston, bought the show, as you guys may know. We've talked about it, I guess, twice, but only one episode is still up, thanks YouTube, and you know, he's got a lot of businesses. He's you know, been compared by Forbes, actually compared Kingston Biggle to Daddy Warbucks one time, which is, I guess, an honor. Bryceston is his biological. That's
good.
Yeah, Bryceston is his biological son, though. He does have an older brother named Lyston, and they you know, they're brothers. They get along when it's time to get along. Yeah, but also we've had a couple people kind of start to theorize things and accuse each other of being Bryceston, and you know, we just want to clear the waters on Bryceston because he doesn't really have access to the internet. He doesn't really have any devices that have access to the internet, so he's not able to really get his news out besides through our show.
Yeah, he has a very small internet blueprint.
Yes, he really
footprint.
Yeah, footprint. Yeah, he calls himself Amish in that regard, strictly with the internet. He does be watching television though. Don't get that wrong. But yeah, we just want to clear the air. And he almost died, which I'll explain what happened to him in a little bit. But we just wanted to fill in everybody on kind of the details, and you know, there's a lot of details here.
Got a lot to go over.
Buckle up. Yeah, so you know, hopefully this isn't going to be too long of an episode. But some of this stuff is really interesting. Some of it's troublesome, and stay tuned because about halfway through the show, maybe a little bit earlier than halfway, we're going to do an exclusive interview with self-declared Bryceston's biggest enemy. And yeah, he should be coming here later today, actually, to do an in-person interview. We're really excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Big Mike and then an anonymous Bryceston enemy. Those are our two in-person famous guests that aren't really our friends. Like,
sorry, Big Jim. Get back to streaming. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, some people have been worried about it and they're wondering about it. It's pretty complex, but again, things have changed now since he almost croaked. I think we're gonna lift the Bryceston eviction, and it's unfortunate because for a while we were really trucking to get him out, and
some of us still are.
Yeah, well, it's just, you know, we don't want to throw him on the street.
You know, things are just salt. It's temporary.
We don't want to throw him on the street, given the condition that his body is in.
Some of us don't care about the condition of his body.
But there's a lot that he's gone through. We'll get into that. So yeah, Bryceston, you know, he is a childhood friend of mine, and you know, we go way back to second grade. He actually, the way I met him was he ran up and he poured pencil shavings.
So in second grade, when you met him, what was his name?
It's Bryceston.
Bryceston. What's his last name?
So that has been heavily conflicted, and it's weird because his parents are split and they have split custody of him.
Okay.
And his dad's last name is Biggle.
Okay.
And his mom's last name is Bigglesworth. So it's a little confusing on where that's where. But yeah, always Bryceston. You know, sometimes a Biggle.
That explains why Kingston has been so negative towards me. I've been using the wrong last name for it.
Yeah. Bryceston's mother and Bryceston's father, do not get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I will apologize. Sorry, Kingston.
Yeah. And I don't even know his mother's name.
Mr. Biggle.
Yeah. I don't even want to know if I want to know Bryceston's mother's name. You know, the last name is enough.
You never met her as a child?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. She never was around. You know, he's been through it. He truly has. But yeah, he ran up to me, threw pencil shavings on the back of my shirt first day of second grade, screamed shredded beef jerky. I didn't know what to do. I was upset, and that shit's itchy, dude. It was full. It was overflowing. Everybody sharpening their brand new pencils. on the first day of school, and it fills up with some itchy, scratchy, graphite all down my back. The teacher saw me all upset, like emptying out the back of my shirt in the trash can, and asked me what happened. And I didn't know him yet, so I was just like, I think I'm being bullied. And my mom actually still has the apology letter that Bryceston had to write me. It's in a scrapbook. Maybe I'll get a copy of that and show everybody sometime.
Cool.
And also, when we started to kind of become friends, because he apologized, he said I was just that's my way of breaking the ice, which is a very Bryceston move. And then he ran up.
Very emotionally aware at that age.
Yes. But then a couple weeks later, he did run up and jump onto my back and knock me down onto the ground. And I didn't hit my face on the ground, but the force and like the whiplash of the whole situation, I had a really loose tooth that was hanging on by a thread, and it got knocked out of my mouth, and it landed in the grass next to the pavement. We couldn't find it.
No.
And we had to go inside for recess afterwards.
He owes you $1, bro.
Well, that's the thing is I was pretty petrified that the tooth fairy wasn't going to bring me the tooth, so I wrote a big letter. My mom suggested I write a large letter, and lo and behold, the tooth fairy did still come that night.
Wow.
Even though Bryceston, almost sabotaged me. And then also, before I knew him that well, we were also in a basketball camp together, where it was just kind of a bunch of high school guys and gals teaching us how to shoot and dribble and whatnot, and he really would run up and he would throw the ball in a very different way than they told him to do it, and it would be like ridiculous. He would just kind of spaz out and launch it, and they would be about to scold him, but then it would swish, nothing but net, and they would be like, they couldn't really like reprimand him, but they couldn't really say like, all right, everybody do that, because no one's got that Bryceston touch.
So is that the highest level of athletics you ever competed at?
Me?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's pretty cool, dude.
There's there's a picture in here of me with an athletic shirt on. And once we get into the pictures, I'll point out what that is. So there was one thing a little bit more than that, I think. Oh man, some water. Sorry, it's emotional, kind of going down memory lane.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, like revisiting your past selves and your past friends.
Yeah,
I mean not selves, I guess themselves.
Different versions of themselves, because
ghosts of themselves.
In high school, Bryceston got a little bit more naughty. I'll say, he actually got expelled from high school because he
fallen with the wrong crowd.
He was kind of the ringleader of them all, as I've heard him referred to as. But yeah, one time he actually held up a 7-Eleven. And that was the big one, and he ended up getting away.
7-Eleven.
And there's a real rich guy in town. In our hometown growing up. His name was Giuseppe, rest in peace. Giuseppe passed a few years ago, but he had a Lamborghini parked, and it was the nicest car in the whole town. And Bryceston ran out of the 7-Eleven in the Lamborghini, crashed Lamborghini going way too fast, and that was honestly his downfall when he got expelled. When he got expelled, he didn't even try to go to remedial school. He just left home. And he was missing for like 8 years. So in our first episode, when I said like I ran into a homeless man named Bryceston, I thought it was a different Bryceston. That's one of the most common names in America. So I just figured this is another Bryceston, and he was so messed up looking that, God, dude, I'm like choking up thinking about it. I couldn't tell. My childhood friend looked so different, unrecognizable. But yeah, we started slowly realizing it, and they had heard stories about Bryceston. I mean, that pencil shaving story, that's, that gets brought up a lot before he was even around last year.
Some would say too often.
Honestly, yeah. But recently, what he almost died from was he was taking some bootleg aspirin. And
yeah, where'd he get that even?
I don't know, because like that's not even like a cartel thing. Like that's definitely not like.
I couldn't even read what the language was on there.
It was in a language that I think, maybe less than 100 people speak. Like
I think it might have been webdings.
It was a made up. It might have been. Some of them looked like images, but he was taking a lot of it. He said he's been taking it for years, taking lots of it for years, and simultaneously, that'll thin your blood out. Aspirin will alone, but bootleg aspirin will really thin your blood out and do all sorts of whatever to you. But he dabbles in magic tricks, and he was doing something where he like fake eats a firecracker when he's doing it at Home Depot for the cashiers. And he says Home Depot is the lifeblood of America.
Oh, I can't disagree with him there.
I can't, but he's putting on like almost a USO show for these cashiers, and it blew up the wrong way, and he starts bleeding out.
My Uncle Jay works at Home Depot. He would love that shit. He works night shift though.
Yeah, no, Bryson was like knocking on the door, like waiting to get in, like bright and early, ready to do this show.
I'm just sending Uncle Jay.
But he was bleeding out, man. It was bad. But they got him to the hospital. We went there. We picked him up the other night. It was a shit show, dude. That hospital was jam-packed. There's construction everywhere. We barely got out of there with him. Saw a mutant, a strange creature of a person.
I think it was a crocodile.
Treating mutants here. But, yeah, he's okay, though. He's back in his room doing, whatever he does in there, which...
He's back to the same state he was in.
Yes.
I wouldn't say he's okay.
Yes, he's not better than that, and it was not that great to begin with, to be fair.
And the smell from upstairs is also not okay.
Dude, it smells, and it's loud. There's, like, lawnmower sounds, but it's not, like, grass smell.
A good lawnmower?
No, it's, like, an old lawnmower, like, one that's, like, barely, like, it's, like, it doesn't smell like gas or anything. It smells
like it got wet.
Much worse. Yeah, it smells much worse than gas
awful.
Or grass, but... Sounds like a lawnmower, and it smells like... I mean, do you have a way to describe it? I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I've never landed on a perfect description for...
The only two words I keep coming back to are earthy and offensive.
Yeah. Like an aggressive mothball smell, but not even. That doesn't even give it justice, because there's like a ketchup layer. It's... Like I wish we could do a smell-o-vision, because you'd smell it right now.
Yeah, like what if a Torterra from Pokemon... ate a bunch of sulfur, and then pooped it out.
Probably about that, yeah. Like a real earthy poop, dude. But, yeah, so he's good, though. And, we're really rooting for his recovery. And, he's very grateful for any support and any, wishes that he may have. Good wishes for good health. But, yeah, this is I got a lot of stuff here. It's not in a great order, I got to be honest. I just kind of started thinking of stuff, and we started talking to him about it, like what he wanted covered in the show. And
couldn't be bothered to show up though.
Yeah. And if he, we're hoping he listens to this episode, and he has every right to come on here and defend himself, but these are stories that he told us or we heard about him.
You need to put cover down if he sits in my seat again, by the way.
That's true, because we did a scrub. And I really don't like the cats, like, they're after him also.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
But, yeah, just some other... I got a couple other things about, like, his childhood. As a kid, he would kind of always go into this alter ego that he would call Abigail Fiesta. And he would, like, put on, like, a...
Bryson is Abigail Fiesta?
Yeah, the Facebook accounts. Because he had a couple fake, like, burner Facebook accounts that he would... Because we lived close enough together growing up that, Facebook stuff trickled over, and he would comment a lot of people in your hometown crazy, or not hometown, but where you were in high school crazy on Facebook. Like
I've seen Abigail Fiesta. I never knew.
And he would go into these spurts, and it almost seemed like it was actually, kind of a split personality thing, because he would jump so hard to this Swedish little girl.
He became Abigail Fiesta.
And I don't know if I could get like a voice clip of him doing it, but he would just be like, "I am Abigail Fiesta," and he would really just go all out. He would get in trouble. That was part of like him always getting in trouble in school with that. But that luckily kind of faded out towards the end of high school, and then he went missing for a while, which we do have details of what he did in that time he went missing, because we've sat down with him and over some White Claws and really caught up with.
We have what he claims happened.
Right. Take all of this with a grain of salt, except the parts where we're witnesses to it, because there are some things in here where it's like for sure fact, like.
And the police record's real, I can tell you that.
Yeah, like I've read at least one or two things in a newspaper that I can kind of confidently vouch for some of this stuff.
Other than that, I don't really buy it.
Yeah, and he said that growing up, I remember this story actually. Even though Kingston has always been incredibly wealthy, he didn't really spoil him that much, and he really didn't get that much stuff. Like he wasn't a spoiled kid. And I have seen this on Bryson's childhood bedroom door, it does say, "I hate you, Mom and Dad," and it's kind of scrawled in there with a carving. And we asked him why. He said that when he was 12 years old, they wouldn't let him get a go-kart. And he walked up there with a knife from the kitchen and just started scratching and scratching.
Yeah. I mean, if Dad's got all that money, you just see him as selfish, and you just got to take out that frustration.
Yeah. But I think that definitely drove a wedge between them. It's rough. You know, this is serious stuff. Another thing is, I have said before on the podcast, I think I've explained Mr. Mysterious, the very strange character I created. Maybe it's in one of the creepypasta or Halloween episodes from one of the...
You know what's crazy about Mr. Mysterious?
What?
Is I was reading a thing about Wes Craven the other day, and him creating Freddy Krueger. Almost the exact same backstory of you seeing Mr. Mysterious.
What? Like he saw like a...
Yup.
Fucking weird.
Just he saw a creepy old man, and he swore he saw like someone creepy walk by, and then he wasn't there, and he's built Freddy Krueger out from that. I saw that the other day, and I meant to tell you.
That is bizarre, actually. I think I'll give a very, very quick thing of Mr. Mysterious. Because I don't remember what episode it's in. Me and this guy were in my garage growing up when we were young, and we looked over, and we both saw out of like the corner of our eye, it looked like a guy walked by the window. And my parents had a pretty decent-sized garage, and we were just in there riding bikes around in circles. And nothing like Kingston, that's for damn sure. They're nothing like Kingston. But we saw this like figure go by, and it looked like he almost had like a question mark-shaped head. I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, we were young, and we really started getting scared. The next day, I go back there, and there's a beer can and a razor blade. And my dad doesn't really drink beer and doesn't really use razor blades in this little nook behind our garage. So I started getting scared and started formulating this idea that there was this question mark shaped Slender Man-esque character named Mr. Mysterious that was on a reign of terror, and us as the kids had to be like it, and we had to stop it because no one was going to believe us, so why even try? And then, come to find out, Bryceston told on me, and because no one really knew that I was spreading it, and Bryceston was actually the one that I remember he raised his hand in class, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm too afraid to sleep in my room alone. I got to sleep with my dog." And the teacher's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Mr. Mysterious, Xavier formulated the whole thing." And I got in a lot of trouble for coming up with Mr. Mysterious, dude.
Yeah, just because it became like the talk of the town, the talk of the school.
Yeah. And he would really throw like me under the bus. Like one time me and him were like breaking light bulbs behind the school. They had like a bunch of big fluorescent long tubes that were getting thrown out, and we went back there and we were just breaking them and stuff, and you know, we were riding off on our skateboards, and this cop pulled up and he goes like, "What are you doing? Why are you back there breaking light bulbs?" And I go, we were just," and I turned, Bryson's gone. Bryson's literally gone. I was like, and he goes, "What do you mean we? Who else was with you?" And I could have, you know, threw him under the bus, but I was just like, I guess he got away, you know, and I gave him that, and I took the entire blame. I got in a lot of trouble for that too. And then another time, he put a smoke bomb in a porta potty, and it got so hot that the bottom of the porta potty started melting, and the porta potty actually started to catch fire a little bit. Same thing, dude. He just took off. I got the whole blame.
Really?
Yeah, and I got that one. I remember my mom, I was in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh, I can imagine your mom being mad.
And the cop was just like, "We're going to contact the porta potty company. You're probably going to have to like spend the money to replace the porta potty." And thank God they never called me. So like I never actually got in trouble for that one. But I mean, I got in trouble. Those were all around 12.
Wow.
That's
a great story.
The Mr. Mysterious one was definitely closer to, that was like 3rd grade. Yeah, that was 3rd grade. Or 2nd grade maybe even. Yeah, I don't know. But the other ones where he abandoned me were, yeah, way closer to 12. And then just another interesting story of Bryceston as a kid was he stole some Oreos, and Kingston knew that it was either Lyston or Bryceston. He knew it, and that was the one thing. Kingston hired like staff to, you know, clean his house and whatnot, but never anything with food. You don't touch Kingston's food. He's really particular about that. You do not touch Kingston's food. So
Bryceston does not feel that way.
No, and the kitchen was, you know, open, but they had kind of allowances on the food they could take, and I think that definitely warped Bryceston in the future now. But yeah, they weren't sure who ate the Oreos. They ate a whole ass thing, maybe left 3 Oreos off opening it. And Kingston hired a private investigator for a lot of money. They told me some numbers, and I don't think I should repeat them, but they got to the bottom of it, and they did some real, crime scene investigation type stuff, and
The fingerprint dust, right?
they fingerprinted. They got Bryceton's little fingerprints. So it's crazy how much he gets away with when his fingerprints are on record, because Kingston said, take those fingerprints, put them in a database, like put Bryceton, in the system. I don't want him to mess up, which, he did rob a 7-Eleven post Oreos. What else? I do want to shine a little bit of positive light. I don't want to go through and just, there are some good things Bryceton's done. And I'd say one of the biggest ones is he won this Zach and Cody Danimals contest one time, and he actually donated it to an underprivileged school in Michigan. And I thought that was pretty great of Bryceton to do.
He won the Zach and Cody Danimals prize, like to hang out with Zach and Cody.
Where they come to your school, and he said no, but send him to the most, poverty-stricken school in Michigan, and they made this video thanking him, and he said, I don't need that. So I will say that Bryceton, it does show some sort of compassion, especially with that Danimals contest. I think that was big, but I will follow that up with a little bit later on in life, Bryceton did make a fake GoFundMe, and just kept saying, I have a sickness, and I have screenshots of that. It didn't.
I don't even know how did he do that without the internet? Did he pay someone to do that for him?
He must have done like a ghostwriter. I didn't even think about that, because that was just a few years ago. It was before he was back in my life, but I didn't even think about that. He must have hired someone to do, which, what a wild. I guess he can't do that on Craigslist either. I guess you just tell Kingston.
Yeah, you just walk around the, Parkland or U of I campus where there's computers and say,
hey, my dad's Kingston Biggle. Will you post a GoFundMe for me?
Help.
I have $100 cash right here. So he might have done that, but yeah, I don't know what the move was there, and I got some pictures of that. We'll get into these pictures and stuff in a little bit. I have some videos of Bryceton, and still got a lot going over. He was supposed to be the kid in Bridge to Terabithia, and
Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, but he butchered it like on the He started just really not caring and phoning it in, and he also got kicked off the show Figure It Out, because he kept goofing off too hard.
I heard while he was testing for Bridge to Terabithia, he tried to rob Anna Sophia Robb.
I do not know if that part's real, but it might be.
He tried to take her jean jacket, I heard.
Because he had kind of like a super baby geniuses thing where his brain was advancing like exponentially, but then I do think something changed. There was some sort of shift during his homeless spurt that kind of sent it backwards, probably.
Almost as if his head changes shapes and could even change into the shape of a question mark.
Perhaps. This is maybe what we need to take away from this, is Bryceton is potentially Mr. Mysterious all along.
Which, by the way, I want to get one thing clear about Bryceton's identity and conspiracies with Bryceton.
Yeah.
He's not leaving any comments on our videos.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's no internet access, so he's not able to. Which, thank God, because who knows what he would be saying, dude.
Sometimes he runs in my room and just demands I play songs because he doesn't know how to look them up on the internet. He just comes in my room and shouts until I play him music on my computer.
Yeah, he has old records that barely work, and when they don't work, he's down here being like, "Hey, come on, I need this song." I mean, he's listening to songs from he is listening to goofy movie tracks, so some of them are pretty good. Some Chip and Dale, old Disney stuff.
I do like some merry melodies.
True. He does enjoy those merry melodies. And he's claimed that he's been abducted by aliens in those 8 years. He said that for a while he was abducted, and they did all sorts of tests on him. And I doubt that's real, but it would explain a lot. He's obsessed with cars, sharks, guitars, aliens.
He's like a little boy.
Looney Tunes, which the new Looney Tunes show, I mean, if he even sees anything about it, you can't get him to shut up. Like he talks about. I mean, in one of our episodes, he was talking about Looney Tunes and showing us Looney Tunes stuff when I did a solo ep with him, and it's hard to get him off of it once he gets going about the new Looney Tunes show.
Yeah, we keep trying to get him to do an episode of the podcast every once in a while, and he'll say, "Yeah, can we just watch Looney Tunes?"
Yeah, and we're like, not like for more than a few minutes, and he's like, well, then I have to go to bed, and I go to bed, and then we hear lawnmower sounds. So,
and then I also hear the
he must have a record of that. He must.
He
have,
must.
Yeah.
It must be in there.
But some of the jobs he shared with me is he said he was a storm chase, and all. By the way, every single one of these jobs he was fired from. He made sure to make that very clear. He was a storm chaser for a while. They fired him because he just wanted to see the lightning, and wasn't actually like taking any of the documentation needed to like for the statistics. That's an important job, you know, making sure storms don't run into people's houses. I mean, you can't stop the storms, but you can warn people. And he was just out there watching the lightning in awe, probably looking for aliens too. He said he was a trucker. He streamed it for a bit on YouTube, but we couldn't find that. His account must have got banned or something, because he said that he was streaming when he accidentally started backing into a trunk or treat, and he didn't hit any kids, he claims, but he did, you know, a trunk or treat like a yeah. Apparently he started like getting real close to squishing some, you know, little Marios and.
He told me a different story about how he got fired from.
What did he say to you about?
He told me he was behind another trucker, and it had to with you know, the sexy ladies on the back.
Right, the mud flap.
And he told me he was, you know, thinking about them and imagining what if those girls were real, and he rear-ended the other guy.
That trucker probably wanted to beat the shit out of him if that's what happened. That's holy shit.
I mean,
the mud flap girls.
The mud flap girls.
The mud flap girls band name, I call it, man. Storm chaser, and he was a ghost hunter, ghost chaser, and he said that he dealt with Vern Troyer's ghost, rest in peace. But he said Vern Troyer was incredibly violent to him, and he just had to get out of there. And they kept trying to film the shoot, and Vern Troyer just kept saying, you know, stuff and kind of messing with him, and they couldn't end up filming it. Which, again, don't know if I believe that or a lot of these, but you know, figured it was worth putting in that he's telling people this, he's spreading this info, whether it's true or not. What else? McDonald's was really short-lived. On his third day, he was eating like frozen fish fillets, and someone at corporate was visiting, so that was pretty quick. Oh, actually, one of these he wasn't fired from. He was going to take photos of cam girls for their model pages, and he said that just wasn't for him. So he ended up not doing that.
Yeah, they're not the mud flap girls.
Nothing can compare to the mud flap girls, which now I'm thinking about it, he might have a point. Masseuse, all we know about that one is he's banned from France, is what he said. And I did actually see some documentation that was saying, like, you are not allowed back in France. It didn't say why, because he had his finger over it.
Yeah, I've never seen a red page in a passport before.
Yeah, it just they just straight drew on it and wiped it out. And sushi chef for a little bit, but it was an under-table illegal operation, and he actually had no training, so he wasn't able to do that long. And
yeah, it turned out he was just serving lake fish.
Yeah, they actually got raided too, and the whole thing got shut down by the health inspectors. And one time we played a game called Summer Sweetheart, which was I believe a Japanese dating sim on the Nintendo Switch, and he hit it really well during it, but in post he did say that he did a lot of the translation, which I guess that means he speaks Japanese. Okay. But like the translation was really bad, so he either did it on purpose or doesn't actually speak that good at Japanese, because it really was there were some really big jumps in what they meant. But you know, he's a writer. And then one of the most interesting ones I'd say is he was doing missionary work for a little bit in Haiti, and was secretly kind of moving away from the normal missionaries, and was spreading the word of Camp Laszlo, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and Looney Tunes to the third world like country as if they were Jesus, and was like getting these kids like to like, all right, you need to worship Camp Laszlo. What's the kid? Alex Lyon.
Adam Lyon.
Adam Lyon. He was like saying like Adam Lyon.
That's why I'm here, folks.
He died for your sins. And then the other missionaries found out what he was doing and were like, get out of here. Because he wasn't like actually doing anything with the schools or the water or anything. He was literally just like lying to these kids and saying like, yeah, like, you know, Camp Laszlo is basically the Bible. And yeah, got booted from missionary work doing that. And also he said in his homeless time that he was in one of, you know how they do like the bum fights? People film the bum fights.
I love bum fights.
He claims he was on some, but there's some lost footage because there was a mix-up at the airport and the actual recording of his bum fight got lost. But quote unquote, he said, "I almost fucking killed that old man though." So I honestly am kind of glad I didn't see that footage. It sounds rough.
Yeah. Bryceston also claims after he's had a few beers that he was in the running to be Kimbo's next fight before the end.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
Man, would I love to see Kimbo versus Bryceston.
I would too, honestly. That would be pretty legendary. And he's never worked for Kingston, though. He said that Kingston businesses weren't for him, which, by the way, this episode is sponsored by Kingston's Corner, the place for kids. And it seems like it's basically just like a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff. So... yeah.
A Chuck E. Cheese reimagining.
Sorry. Kingston's Corner, everybody. Check it out. Half off tickets this Wednesday. Or tokens, sorry. Double tickets, half off tokens. So that's 4 times as good of a deal. Pretty nice. Bryceston is pretty religious, though. He's always going to this place called the 16th Chapel. I don't really know about what that means.
Weird.
Supposedly related to Avril Lavigne, Jack Kerouac, and John Cena, which I think he just thinks he's Fred, and he wants John Cena to be his dad instead of Kingston.
Oh.
Which is honestly kind of depressing. That just like wishing that you were Fred. Not talking shit about John Cena, but
no, I was gonna say
2 hours later.
And that's why he's the greatest of all time, and always it's not up for debate even.
All right, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we can keep all of that in there, but I'll see. I just don't know how long this episode is going to be, but
well,
that was educational for me.
Yeah, you're
I'll
welcome.
say that. And yeah, we've only seen him eat mac and cheese and drink White Claws, basically, with a few exceptions. And he is always offering money, saying, "Run Kingston's card," holding up shit. "Make me mac and cheese, David. I'll run Kingston's card." And you're like, I don't have a square reader. Like, I
don't understand his logic.
I don't no. But he's always like $50 for a bowl of mac and cheese, and we're just like, dude, what are you doing? Just like Grubhub it at that point. Like, if you
sometimes he'll shake me down for food. One time I had a girl in here, and he refused to leave until I ordered Taco Bell. This is a true story. I'm not even making this up. Until I ordered Taco Bell, and then he sat in here and ate Taco Bell and watched me the whole time he ate it. And then once he finished, only then did he go back up to the attic.
Did he make you play music or Camp Laszlo?
Yeah, he made me alternate YouTube videos for him.
God, dude, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but
no, he's unhinged.
It doesn't. I get why you're still ready to throw him out. Honestly, with that one, I forgot about that part. And he is apparently addicted to air duster. I
knew a kid who was addicted to air duster.
We've seen him he's always bringing down, like, it sounds like when you have a party and you just have a big trash bag full of bottles, but it's air duster cans he's walking down the stairs with. And also, one of the only other things we've seen him drink besides White Claw is MD 2020 Orange. He's got a lot of that. That must be just real cheap. And then, honestly, I'm not going to really accuse him of this, but he does show some signs of crocodile, which is like the Russian drug that like dries you out and turns you into like a skeleton. But
yeah, he hasn't said anything about it, but there's been hints.
There's been, like enough signs now where like I've Googled like more than one thing on it, just kind of trying to look. But yeah, also, he took down all the trees in our backyard with an axe one time. I have a picture of him in the process.
That was a bad day.
That was a bad. We were trying to watch Monsters Inc., and he decided that until we played rush. He was just going to start taking on the trees, but he didn't really tell us that directly. He got 3 trees down before you were able to get Tom Sawyer on the speaker.
I had trouble with the Bluetooth.
Yeah, because we had the speaker, the soundbar to the projector from Monsters Inc., which he walked down and said, "Turn this off." And we went, "What?" He said, "Turn this off." And he started chopping and chopping. And, dude, efficient. I'll give him that. Not that many swings. Like, he's got lumberjack in his blood.
Dude, he was foaming at the mouth. I think he might have been on rabies.
On rabies? He checked himself with it for the... I mean, that would pump your ass up and get you going, man. And, yeah, that was a scary night. We got a picture of that in here. And, I mean, with that, I think maybe we check out these pictures and these videos.
Yeah. I mean, the
kinda,
evidence.
Yeah.
Will one day be called.
True, yeah.
Exhibit A, please.
These pictures and videos could easily be in front of, like, a courtroom one day, for sure. So, here's him kind of in his... this is the calm before the storm, because when he couldn't win that SpongeBob ball in there, we got kicked out of this diner, and... we're not banned from it, but I would not feel okay, like, showing our faces around there again after.
Well, and with all the broken glass everywhere, dude, I was pulling it out of my hair for like 20 minutes.
And we tried to help clean, and the little lady, Mary, she was like, no, and she wouldn't let us clean it. We were like, please. He's in the car, or he's like outside the windows, just like double fingers up. And, we were basically like, can we buy the SpongeBob ball for like $50? And she was like, I don't have the key to the machine. Like, it's a guy that comes every once in a while when it gets low enough. And we were just like, dude, this sucks. Like, what do we do? And, yeah, again, calm before the storm with some of these. All right, what else? He was quite an athlete. I censored some of this out, but he really can soar, as you can.
Had some great sideburns back in the day too.
He really did. He had the straight chin strap going. And
that's the two of you.
Now here's a classic picture of me and him, and you can see the sharks right there on the shirt, and he's looks a little goofier then than he did now.
You look just as angry as ever.
He had this bike. This was like Kingston was buying him this nice-ass bike and shit, and I was upset because I had a garbage little bike with, like, training wheels on it, and I honestly was just pretty jealous of the life he was living. But, yeah, here's this Cardinals green shirt. I was in T-ball.
It's not the color Cardinals are either.
Exactly, yeah, so pretty strange choice there. But, yeah, I was in T-ball, so that was probably my biggest sports thing, like you
The
have.
highest level you competed at?
Was, yeah, probably T-ball. And he was on another team, Kingston's team. I don't remember what the name was. Probably the Kings. And yeah, I wish I was on Kingston's team, man. They always had like every flavor of Gatorade. Like,
oh, so they were like the rich bad guy team, and you were like the scrappy underdog team.
It was bad. Like, we were eating like peanuts off the ground, and they had like 9 coolers, each with a different colored Gatorade. And yeah, it sucks. Really. So yeah, here's just him being him.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Here's a childhood one now. I have a video of this, but I didn't want to play this because I kind of wanted to hide the person in this's face.
The poor lion.
Yeah, who was actually involved in Mr. Mysterious right around this time. This is what a second grade Bryceston looks like, and it's not great. But he actually ended up swinging on the lion in the mouse and the lion play here and hurt her pretty bad. This was the face when he realized that he had hit her for messing up a line, and the play was ended. But again, don't want to play that. We get taken off for less than that on YouTube, so probably good not to play it.
No kids fighting.
This is typically what you could see if you look at them. There's a couple older photos here. I just wanted to give kind of a range of Bryceston. This one's scary as hell, and was this what he looked like when he was just watching you while eating Taco Bell?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like literally like a sleep paralysis demon in the other side of the room, just monitoring.
Yeah, he was somehow chewing, but like I never saw him open his mouth and put food in.
He calls himself the Monitor a lot too, and like he'll be like hall monitor when you're in the hall, and you're like, what does that mean? And he just like kind of looks you up and down. And he's just like, clear to go. You're like, what are you talking about, dude? I don't know. You know, little one looking a little possessed there, honestly.
Yeah, almost as if something evil has entered his body.
Yeah, I wonder if this was maybe around the origin of him switching.
Yeah, this is Monsters Inc. night.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see we got the projector ready to go, and he had taken 2 trees down already. We got the Monsters Inc. off the TV because you disconnected from it to get onto the audio to get into the speaker, and yeah, this is him. I got this picture of him because I was like, dude, we need to get like evidence for the landlord that like he's doing this. And I could not get my camera to work. I was trying to take a video. It died fucking right after I took this picture, so I wasn't able to get a video. But yeah, this is him taking the trees down. And we don't know how like we're gonna explain it, but he took 3 of the 4 trees in the backyard down, and luckily you got Tom Sawyer on right before that last one.
Yeah.
But
Mean ride.
yeah. Okay, so now we're into the GoFundMe thing. So he said that a few years ago during that 8-year missing streak that he made a GoFundMe for himself. And I was able to get on the Wayback Machine and really search a lot, and I was able to find the specific thing. So this was the main picture he uploaded, which is him with a Snapchat filter on. And you know, no one took this bait because obviously it's a Snapchat filter. And in this next one, he has another Snapchat filter on. But yeah, let's go through this. Get Bryceston healthy again. $9.8 million goal. None of it got reached at all.
Okay.
But he was going by Bryceston Bigglesworth here. And so yeah, that's the front page. And then, God, get ready for this description. I'll read it out. It says, my name is Bryceston, and I have a sickness that they can't figure out, and I'm sick AF. Please donate some money because I am so sick, and I have a sickness that is making me more sick every single day, and I can't stand it. I can't stand feeling like this. Do you know what it's like to wake up every single day with a sickness that is making you sick as a dog? This is awful. This is a nightmare, and Bryceston just can't wake up. This is when he was doing, like, third-person stuff a little bit. He was dabbling in it. Bryceston just can't wake up, so please, if you donate, I will thank you with signing anything you want. Just send the items to my house, and I will sign them. I don't trust that. I think he would take them.
Yeah, he'll keep those items.
And return them and be so happy that you helped keep my sickness under control. God bless you, and God bless America. This is all we have, each other and community and our country and our health. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Signing out, Bryceston has left the building.
Well, it's good to know that Bryceston is a Christian and a patriot.
Yeah, truly, I think.
And an Elvis fan.
I think that if you were to get the silver lining from making the fake GoFundMe, because he has admitted that there was no sickness and obviously there was no birth defect. Those are just Snapchat filters. And it's a little insensitive that he tried to pull that off.
Yeah.
This is when he was going full chin strap brace mode. And this is when he had a phone. This was right before he went missing. This was like when Snapchat first came out.
So this might have been like one of the last pictures you saw of
This honestly might have been, that's powerful. I didn't even think about it like that. You can see his eye really peeking through there, just like you can see the pain in that eye, even though it's pretty concealed. Like he's definitely going through it. All right, now this is a classic one. This was honestly probably when it was about to go to shit. Like, and you know, the 7-Eleven thing was. I guess that. The last picture was right around the 7-Eleven time. This was when he was abandoning me with the light bulbs and stuff, which he had those braces on for like 9 years. They were really on there. This picture of his grandfather.
Bryceston?
Yeah, Bryceston. This is one of his class photos. It's him being silly right around that time. This might have been one of the other last photos of him also. And I'm honestly proud that he didn't put this in and try to say this was the birth defect also.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this also, again, might have been one of the last photos of him because he really had a phone and was going crazy right then and then lost the phone pretty quick into going missing. Chilling with a cig. That's the one. Here we have him doing gymnastics. This is kind of... this picture was taken... We were going to a wedding a few days after he showed back up into our lives. And the one thing he came like with was a camera. So that's the camera he had, and he offered to take photos of our friend's wedding. But this is what he looked like, and we tried to give him like a makeover, and stuff. We basically had to do like an 80s movie montage type thing and really kind of make him over. You were doing his hair, you were shaving that beard up, which, by the way, great job.
Thank
You
you.
really got him good again.
Yeah, I really queer-eyed the shit out of him.
You really did. And you know, he looks a lot better now. I'll say that. But yeah, this is there's a couple other photos of him from around that time that are even rougher than this one, and I will not, you know, show that because it's just a little too much. He's a big saxophone guy. Our power went out a while ago, and he was blaring that saxophone. One of his big talents for sure. And you know,
Early love of eating pussy.
yeah. And this is, you know, he's that mud flap girl pussy, dude. And you know, this is right around that time, the 12-year-old, you know, kind of turning to the worst. So this might have been just like a few days or weeks before or after the light bulb incident. We're kind of piecing together the timeline here, folks, as best we can. This was when we were basically done with the makeover, and he was feeling himself,
Yeah,
dude. And
you're frightened at he's realizing his beauty.
well, I just didn't know a human could make a noise that loud,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, it was very loud, you know, louder than any animal or creature I've ever heard.
That lava lamp right there, remember when it shattered when he did it?
Yeah, he was trying to break it with his mind, and we kept saying stop, and he said, I'm going to get so loud, I'm going to break it like in a movie. And it did.
It did. I've never
It
seen
did
it
break in
before.
a movie. And I knew that was like a real thing, but I just didn't think I'd ever meet anybody with the chords to really nail that.
I didn't realize lava lamp oil was actually so hot.
Yes. We had a wedding a couple weeks after that first initial wedding, you know, so this was post getting made over.
The beard grew back fast.
Yes, he's got an exponential, and I think, honestly, I don't want to give it any credit, but he is always applying the Alex Jones supplements to himself. And Alex Jones says you're supposed to, like, I think, consume it, and he just puts it all over his face like beard oil. But goddamn, does his hair grow fast when he's doing that with the Alex Jones oil, which he is always trying to sell that to us. Also, I had that later, but you know, I might as well bring that up now. Herbalife and the Alex Jones supplements. He's like, come on, you don't understand. Like, it's this perfect thing. And we're like, it's a pyramid scheme. And he's like, yeah, the pyramids were built by aliens. So Alex Jones' supplements and Herbalife were given to us by extraterrestrial beings. I don't know. We'll put him in front of the camera sometime for an hour and just have him talk, and you'll really get the full force of it.
Yeah.
And then he was a little chunker a little bit around like age 11 or so, but he did end up losing that weight.
Oh.
Yeah. And
you know, the baby weight, it falls off eventually.
yes, yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
He was a big skateboarder though, actually, and was at a pretty what appears to be a famous skate park. And there is this one thing of a small interview of his going around.
Wow.
Whoops, 1 second. There we go.
Would love to see him talk about his craft.
Yeah, and it's not a video, unfortunately, but
Oh, so I'd love to listen to him talk about his craft.
it's something.
Same. I read that they designed this skate park after a lot of the city itself because people would go and skate in the streets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of ledges you'd see here are similar to what you'd actually see in Chicago. And I don't know. It's just it's a renowned park. So it's
I don't
great.
remember
Brings
what
a lot of
park he was
people
talking
together.
about.
It's so
Hey, man, it sounds renowned.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it has such a renowned reputation and is so highly thought of.
Seems renowned. Yeah. And I wish I'd like to check this place out, honestly, and see what's up. All right. Now it's video time.
Videos?
Let's get
Okay.
some damn flicks here of our good pal.
Again, I don't want to go on record saying that.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. But yeah, here's some Bryceston videos.
Hooray! What's he got?
We got some foam, and yeah, he said, I made this. And we said, no, you didn't. And he said, I made this foam. And then he snapped it, and it smacked him in his face. This
If there was
was
a child
another
right in
video
front of you,
that was on the GoFundMe page.
near death from sick. If there was a child
which he
right
just
in
took
front
the
of you,
audio from.
in pain from hunger, near death from sickness.
Yeah,
If there
I
was a
don't feel very
child
good
right-
about this, Bryceston. That's
Yeah,
not good.
I wish he didn't do this. This is one of the oldest videos I think there is of him, besides the one of him in the play, which, you know, I think I said I can't really play that one.
Yeah, off limits.
But yeah, here we go. This one's good.
Where I can see you.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know why she needed to call him that, but
Yeah, take that out.
yeah.
Shake your butt.
But we have a Bryceston shaking his butt. I mean, you could tell he was a little fashionista back then.
Yeah, and he can shake that butt like, I mean,
Some
I know
bitch.
Mama Bigglesworth wasn't around, but she gave him something to shake.
She did. That is for damn sure. All right. You don't really need the rest of this. Sometimes he just sings and cleans. But he kind of blue balls you because he doesn't like finish a lot of the time. And then I hope these don't get our audios claimed, but sometimes he's getting real. I want to put this one in.
Music seems to give Bryceston some sort of mysterious power.
Yeah. Because like we said, we did have the 80s like movie montage music playing when we were giving him his makeover. And he would just like giggle. He'd be like, he would giggle faster and faster. He would say like weird shit like, and we were like, what is he saying, dude? Like
I
it
couldn't
really
quite make it out,
It could
but-
not make it out, but he's saying it constantly when like the music's playing, and he gets this hyper, and it's like worrisome. Like look at that. This is just a Sean Paul like Nightcore remix.
Yeah, he loves to sing. He loves to dance. He just loves to perform.
I love Sonic AMVs.
And a beautiful appearance from our mama kid, too.
Little sweet black baby. Oh wait,
Is that poop? Is that...
that might be poop, dude. That might be poop.
Dude, I had a conversation with him the other night.
So that was just me defending myself against him because one time he was coming at me a little crazy. I felt necessary to kind of hit him with that. Oh, whoops. Got a dupe there. He's always getting us to film him. He's always trying to get us to like film. He always says that he's like, come on, we have to film for my reality show. And we go, well, you know you're not. There's what reality show? And he's like, I'm in a reality show. We're like, you know you're not in a reality show. And he's just like, film for the reality show, please.
He also keeps referring to the house as a hype house.
Yeah, the hype house of the set. He just would call it like the set.
Yeah.
And I don't get like, it's not a hype house, guys. This is he can't. How is it a hype house if he's not on the internet?
Does he have hidden cameras?
He might. We're gonna have to do some cleaning or some sweeping after this and really make sure, because now I'm getting paranoid, dude.
He is quite the specimen.
Yeah, this one's bad. 'Cause he really hits the damn ground there, man.
Yeah, again, the wrong music just sort of sends him into this uncontrollable state. And
Yeah.
you just have to play, like, the right song to snap him out of it.
But yeah.
There's no telling what it's going to be.
And he does play a little bit of music. For a little bit, he was running with this band. I actually have a footage of that right here. But I don't think he made it too long in here.
Yeah.
Because he said, we have to play DuckTales. And they were like, okay, fine, we'll play DuckTales. And then he was like, they started to play a different song. And he goes, no. We're playing DuckTales for the whole 3-hour set. It was just kind of a creative difference thing.
Yeah.
Honestly. But this was recently. This was, like, as soon as it was okay to have concerts again, he got into this band. And it really, All right, what else we got here? Oh, yeah, he said superstition, part of his religion, is he won't enter a pool anyway except that.
Oh.
So I don't really know.
What religion? Because we figured out earlier he was Christian because he was talking about God.
Yeah, well, something with the 16th Chapel is where he said he's frequents, but I don't know what that means. That sounds Christian, I guess. But he's not. He couldn't have meant the Sistine Chapel. I don't think that's too far away.
Well, he's not Jehovah's Witness because he loves Halloween.
True.
I don't know about the other ones, though.
Our previous co-host, Ian, these next two videos actually feature him. Yeah, right there, the mic. These next ones actually feature him.
Get on the ground, you have the right to remain silent.
What's up, watching cops?
So, you know, he was pretty violent. You know, in the moment I was laughing because it seemed funny, but when Bryceston got up and we saw how hurt Ian actually was, it really changed the mood of the night pretty quickly. And he had to get a stitch. He ended up going to the ER.
2 stitches.
Yeah, and Kingston said, "Send me the bill. Like, just give me a call." And then he tried to call Kingston, and he got ghosted pretty hard. By Kingston.
Yeah, not cool.
It was bad. And then this other time was, we didn't realize this, but a couple years ago during Bryceston's like homeless things,
escapade.
Yeah, he actually tried to carjack us one time, and I did catch some footage of it, and I ended up laughing because of how funny it ended up being. Like, he just kind of honked the horn.
Get out of the car.
It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Not a good robbery attempt either.
No, and I really couldn't tell if he was trying to prank us or just what it was. I'm not sure what this one is. Let's check this out.
God fucking damn it!
Oh, that was actually our friend Big Jim Thunder. I don't know how that got in there. I'll play that through one more time. That was when he was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
That's Chris, Big Jim Thunder.
Seems like it. Hey, text me, man, if you need to.
Yeah, this was a while ago. It's been a while. But here's some skating footage of Bryceston. Which, trigger warning.
Yeah. Oh, not his best. Oh, where'd he get him?
I think he says it.
Dude, I got it right in the throat.
Oh.
Dude got right in the throat.
Okay.
Mayday.
Mayday. This is a bad one. That one's rough. I don't know what's this one. Oh yeah, he does a little bit of roller skating stuff.
I've owned these for as much as I do.
And he's pretty good at it, dude. Honestly.
On these, it's super smooth. Transitioning.
Like,
is
he gets
seamless,
fancy
you know?
with it.
And for the
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And then just real quick, I didn't know whether to put this in here. I asked him, I was like, "Do you want that in there or not?" But he said, "Put it in." So in our Hall of Fame video, we watched the ginger crackhead getting high in Staples on Air Duster, and he's actually had an on-again, off-again relationship with her for a while. And
yo, what's up? What you doing here? You number one? How's that feel? Do that.
So I don't want to play too much more of this because Viral Hog.
Fuck you, Viral Hog. Get off my fucking nuts, Viral Hog.
Viral Hog will claim it, but
fucking
you know,
pussies.
You get the gist. This is in Hall of Fame. I think it's episode 13. That's where we first talk about Hershey Wood also. Or 13, 14, 15. It's one of those. But check that one out.
It's a teen. Don't touch it.
Yeah. It's yeah. And it's a cis teen. Now, this next one. Oh wait, I do have another old video of him. My bad. Now this one is honestly kind of, there's no subtitles unfortunately, so it's almost unintelligible the stuff he's saying in this. But yeah, this was an old YouTube video, and again I had a Wayback Machine for this. It was not easy to dig up, but you know, some things never change.
That's some sort of alien language, it appears.
That, I wonder if that's the language.
Or almost as if he's speaking in tongues after having been possessed.
One or the other. Both of them make, honestly, too much sense. But yeah, that's all I got for the videos and the pictures, and we'll get into the rest. Oh, you know what? This is a good time. I think we should play the interview that we're gonna have.
Oh yeah, let's jump into that.
We'll do that right here. So, thank you for the anonymous enemy of Bryceston, and
I'm gonna jerk off.
We'll roll that right.
Yeah, man, I hate Bryceston. Dude sucks. He smells bad. He's just overall bogus, and I don't want to live with him anymore. And
oh shit!
Hey, this has to be real. This is all. None of this is made up. Come on,
dude.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this, even though you know, you had to do it anonymously.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I can do to get the word out about Bryceston and about you know, the things that he's done and the things that he might do in the future. I'll do anything I can.
And how long ago did you meet Bryceston, and where at?
Yeah, I met him 5 years ago in December. We were both working at a oil rig outside of Anchorage. We were bunkmates.
What are some of your raw thoughts on Bryceston Biggle?
So definitely, I'd have to say he's a villain. First off, he's I think if he went to a doctor, he would get diagnosed as a psychopath. He's just a bad hombre. I don't understand how you guys could associate with him, have him on this show so often. But I think I do have to give it to him. He has good taste in cartoons. You know, Camp Lazlo, Looney Tunes. He's a huge Looney Tunes fan, as am I. That was sort of something we bonded over while we were together for a while. But other than that, there's just no good.
So you've called yourself Bryceston's biggest rival. Why do you consider yourself his enemy?
So when we were on the oil rig back in the day, you know, we worked pretty well together. But then one day it was bring your grandmother to the rig day. And, you know, I don't know exactly what all I'm allowed to say on this show. But I'm just going to say it, and you're going to have to edit out, you know, whatever's not acceptable. But she was walking under the rig. She had this, you know, big casserole pan. He came over and he put his all over her elbow.
All right, do you have any advice on living with him? I know you said you were his bunkmate. He's always got what sounds like a lawnmower going up there.
So I would say when it comes to wait, he lives here?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I gotta get the fuck out. You didn't tell me you fucking lived with him.
Oh yeah, I feel so strong now.
Yeah, I hope that went well for you and for the interview. We haven't recorded that yet, so we're hoping that. I don't know. I really want to see what, you know, Bryson's a bad guy, but this guy really said, like, there's some things that I got to tell you that you're not ready to hear. So, you know, I hope it was not as bad as how he made it out. But, yeah, I'll go through the rest of this stuff. You know, if we want to discuss it, whatever. If not, we'll just run right through it. These are just a lot of facts about him kind of later on in life that we've learned from him or that he's told us.
Facts again.
Yes, this one is for sure because it's affecting us. Is he's always stealing things like the TV remote, bowls, can openers,
dude,
you name it.
So many can openers,
bottle openers, like a lot of stuff that like you know don't really need until you need it.
I think he's building something up there.
I do think he is building something because there's a lot of strange things that happen, and I have them a little bit later. I tried to get weirder as it went on. I tried to keep it a little tame at the beginning and then get a little weirder. So, yeah, I will explain. You know, we can't really explain the smell, but we'll explain kind of what we
can't unsmell the smell though.
You can't. Like, it's so bad right now, dude. Like, I really want to throw up right now. He keeps asking us how to make spaghetti. And when we tell him, he doesn't believe that it's actually that easy, and he calls us liars and gets like pretty angry. And you know he's done it a couple times. He's come downstairs and been like, "All right, don't bullshit me this time."
He pulled the big knife on me last time.
It's a big ass knife, and we're like, you could be using that to like cut up the stuff to make. You can be making some homemade spaghetti with that knife. You don't need to be violent with it.
He pointed at me. He said, "They make this in important kitchens in Italy. I know it's not like that. Tell me how to make the spaghetti."
And we pulled up YouTubers of them making spaghetti, and he said, "This is bullshit. You paid these people. This is a conspiracy," and it goes all the way to the top of my pyramid.
We're losing enough money on this show.
Yeah, we're not paying other YouTubers. We're not even paying ourselves to do this YouTube.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and I said constantly wants to be filmed for the reality show. He claims to have put Nicki Minaj on the map, end quote. And
he put a bunch of Rule 34 pictures of her online that he drew.
He did, and then tried to act like ha ha ha, because there's an episode where we look some of that up, and he tries to be like, oh ha ha ha, like that's not me. And again, I don't know how he's getting it online. He must be there must be like someone Kingston.
He's got a partner.
He's got like a what is it? What's the word? Liaison? What is?
Yeah.
What is? I can't pronounce that word now to save my life.
Yeah, I can't do it on camera. I can't do it.
He has some internet tunnel.
Liaison.
Some liaison to Jason Lee Son has, you know,
Dude, Jason Lee
or Mind of
Dude,
Jason.
why don't you watch the Chipmunks with me?
Because we still gotta watch My Name Is Earl.
Okay.
But yeah, he claims put Nicki Minaj on the map, and was such a super fan that she got a restraining order against him. And apparently he's not allowed to make the Rule 34 anymore, and he can't come within. They were trying to get it to where he couldn't be in the same state as her at any given moment, but they did change that, and now it's just within a certain mile radius. I don't remember.
Oh, he told me county lines.
That's honestly.
You don't know.
That's probably not safe enough. To be fair, he's got this creepy doll named Roberta with it's missing an eye. He's always brushing her hair and whispering and like laughing during movies and stuff. We can barely watch movies with him because he always says, "Can Roberta come?" And we're like, "Fuck, dude." We like forget that like Roberta loves movies.
And they get under the blanket together, and it's just uncomfortable.
They just giggle, and like they're giggling louder than the movie, no matter how loud we like make it. Sorry. And
is that him calling?
No, that would be. That would be spooky, honestly. If he
say, "Don't talk about Roberta."
Yeah, his ears are burning. Roberta's ears are burning.
Her
always taking
burning,
Alex
too.
Jones supplements, trying to sell us that Herbalife. He recently bought a hearse and paid a lot of money for it to be painted like the Mystery Machine, which I thought was seemingly sinister. And the one time he was parked behind you in that just recently, and you went upstairs, and you barely got up to like the landing because we're not allowed in his room.
Yeah, he's made that very
freaks
clear.
out and screeches. But he was parked behind you. You had to do something. You were going to be late, and you started walking up the stairs. And like the stairs go up, and then there's a landing, and then they go up again, and there's the
like
actual
a pony
room.
little half wall.
Yeah, and he was on the landing. You said in an inversion table, upside down, like naked with his eyes open, sleeping.
Yeah.
And you actually had to like wake him up, and
he didn't have the straps done though. They were like over him, but
I
they
didn't
weren't
remember
strapped
that.
in. Yeah.
But he like just turned. You got the keys, moved the car. Which, I mean, what's it like being inside that hearse? You're the only one that actually backed it up out of the driveway. You're the only one that's been in it.
Yeah. Well, it was really tough. I had to look up a YouTube video on how to drive stick.
Yeah, stick shift hearse, painting like a Mystery Machine is.
Yeah, it's
jeez, dude.
Not as bad on the inside as you would think, though. It's pretty comfortable. The AC works, which is surprising.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Parking
it was really the hardest part.
This does not sound fun at all. No. He's always got these big Duplo blocks that he's buying, which I didn't even know they made Duplo blocks anymore.
Yeah.
And he also spends like an insane amount of money on.
Oh no! The Curse of Bryceston strikes.
Sorry about that. All the cuts, technical difficulties. Like you said, Curse of Bryceston. Honestly, I'm starting to believe in like this curse that may have been put on us by some sort of pharaoh he's messed with. He does have stolen megalodon teeth and dinosaur teeth, and like bones that he showed me one time.
He told me they're not stolen, but then he winked.
Okay.
And his wink is unsettling too. It is.
It's too slow.
Yeah,
it's almost
atrocious.
not a wink. It's like really drawn out, like several seconds. But I'm assuming that if he's able to steal those things, he might have some sort of Egyptian cursed object that a pharaoh is pissed off. That he has.
Pharaoh, really any deity.
Yeah, but he's got the big Duplo blocks and the Funko Pops, but he's also doing like weird Sid from Toy Story stuff to him constantly, where he's like melting them and like putting zip ties on them and shit. I don't really.
It ain't right.
Yeah. He identifies as 47 years old. Don't really get
what
that.
What does that
one.
mean?
I don't know. He's just always said like, I can't wait to grow up. So much so, I just decided to do it. And
he's got reverse Peter Pan disease.
He one time said to me, "Do you know the quote, Xavier? Don't grow up, it's a trap." And I go, "I think I've heard that." And he goes, "The person who said that's a bitch." I'm 47 years old, and yeah, I don't really want any more info than that.
Yeah, he loves traps because he's like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
So he loves traps.
Obsession with him. He's always doing yodeling, scatting, Mongolian throat singing, or laugh therapy in his room.
Literally anything I don't want to hear when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, and one time he made a distraction when we were at CVS and stole this like $20 JoJo Siwa karaoke machine. So it's loud when he's just doing the like through that shit, dude. Because it's not good quality. I mean, a JoJo Siwa karaoke machine, you gotta expect $20 at CVS. It's not gonna be the best quality, but he made a distraction, and I will get demonetized or kicked off YouTube if I say it. I don't even want to take the risk of beeping it. What he did, but he got out of there with that machine.
Yeah, let's just say they won't be forgetting Bryceston at that CVS.
No, and another place that I like everywhere we go with him in public, I like do not feel comfortable showing my face there again, or we're on a list, or they took like they have security camera footage. Like
he's gonna go all the way to Walgreens now.
He's screwing us over, and this was a CVS house. This was a CVS family until he drove a wedge between us and them. I'm not going to a Rite Aid, dude, because I'll tell you why.
Fuck, we look like.
I'll tell you why.
Fuck Rite Aid, CVS, bitch.
That's right. That's exactly why.
He did show me a degree, and I guess this could be a fake degree, but it was from DeVue, and it said he had a major in Klingon, which I didn't think they taught at DeVue, and a minor in poli-sci.
Okay.
He got us a piracy warning.
How is Bryceston more educated than me?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. This one's weird because, again, he's not on the internet, but we got a piracy warning, and it was for Magic Mike XXL. And Nick.
Oh, that was me.
That one was you?
Yeah, that one was me.
What about the Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist soundtrack?
No, that wasn't me.
I don't know how that one happened, but that, I think, was him because, doesn't seem like any of us would download that. The soundtrack to the...
Caleb might have downloaded that.
You think he... Okay. Well, I can ask him.
We can't put that one for sure on Bryce.
That's fine. I'll redact that one. And again, this isn't me pointing fingers or anything. These are just facts, cold, hard facts that we've heard from him or about him or witnessed. He's always saying, I'm going to run for local office and be the mayor. I don't know of where. And also wants to fence in the Olympics for San Marino. He always says that's the smallest country in the Olympics.
Yeah, he said they need a win, and I said you need what was it?
I don't know. Was I there?
No, the name of the place.
Oh, San Marino.
San Marino. Yeah, I said you need a San Marino citizenship to do that, and he said, "No, I don't." He said it's all about who you know.
Which I guess Kingston Connections. Which, by the way, this episode is sponsored by Kingston Connections, the best in telemarketing. And
I thought it was a dating site. You got to start giving me the ad reads ahead of time.
Sorry, I will. There's just a lot of businesses we got to get through. Because he said you don't have to do it in any particular order. We just got to shout out all the businesses.
Oh, well, maybe I'll do a speed round next episode or something. Man, it is storming.
Dude, it is storming, and the lights are going out. The Curse of Bryceston is a little bit scarier and more real than I'd like to admit.
We got to go to the safe house for a couple days after this episode.
Yeah. He he goes to lakes. He's been to a couple lakes right outside of town and has caught his own leeches to do his own leech therapy. And he's always saying leech therapy is the future. You don't need modern medicine except aspirin and leeches.
And he keeps doing it on his armpits, which I don't like, because then he uses my deodorant after.
That's that means there's probably blood on your deodorant. So any sort of
there is
bloodborne.
It's a white stick. I can see it.
It's a pink stick after he's done with it, man. That's not okay. And it's fucked up because, dude, like, I'll open the trash and there'll be the leeches in there, and they're not dead. He'll throw away live leeches, and they're, like, in there.
That's not how you get rid of a leech.
That's not how you get rid of a leech. And he's got tattoos he won't let us see. We've never been in his room except for when you had to go in there the other day. Which, by the way, how was the smell when you actually, like, broke the barrier?
It gets more potent.
Okay. I figured. But, yeah, since moving, we've never been up there to the attic. And he's added, like, big padlocks. Like, the front of the door to the attic looks like an escape room now. And it's just, like, big hasps with big padlocks and, like, combination, like, multiple types of locks is why it looks like that. Like, it's not just a couple keyed locks or a couple digit. Like, it's, like, every type of lock you can imagine, just down it. Like, really, a lot of money in locks. And, this one he claims, there's no footage of this, and you'd think there would be on YouTube, but he said he stole a ball from a little girl at a Sox game when she caught a home run, and then the father...
Home run, not even a foul ball?
Yeah. Caught the... And she caught it, and he took it right out of her hand and held it up, and he said the father didn't love that. But he said he threw fists with that father, and he said I brought out kind of the bum fight.
Did he win?
He claims he won, but again, you'd think you'd see that video kind of circulating around. And he said something similar about the bum fight thing. He said, like, I made sure to keep him alive, but I beat him within an inch of his life in front of that daughter of his. And he said, I hope they both learned a valuable lesson that day. And honestly, this from here on out is when it starts to get a little more sinister. And I honestly hope that some of this stuff's fake and some of it's, not real. But God, some of it is for sure real, like when he threatened our landlord for essentially no reason, which was pretty scary. And we were kind of afraid we were going to get evicted for that. Thankfully we were able to kind of have a meeting with the landlord separately and explain the unstable of this. But he's like, why you have people living here that aren't on the lease? And we said, we're really sorry. His dad's Kingston. He goes, his dad's Kingston.
Yeah, everyone knows Kingston.
And as soon as we said that, he shut up and he goes, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are good. And that did worry me a lot that he was that afraid of his father just off of the name. What else? Always talking about how Nass and Peter are in cahoots, which I've never really or could conceive what he meant.
Yeah.
The Nass and Peter and quote unquote, I'm gonna take them both down one day if it's the last thing I do.
That's why they got a dog and a monkey to space before a human, so they could have that over us.
Maybe that's what he means. The monkey's going into space.
I bet it is.
That the PETA was fully okay. I didn't think about it. That makes a lot of sense. And he claims to have a Komodo dragon named Gex in his room, which we've never seen it, but there is lots of like weird flashing lights. And it like honestly like it sounds like funny and joking and like cliche, but it like seems like a monster mash, like Frankenstein flashing of lights going on up there.
Yeah, he's feeding bugs to something.
Yes, he's bringing lots of bugs up in the room, and I'm not ever seeing bugs elsewhere in the house, so he's containing the bugs in some fashion.
Yeah.
Up there. Always saying that he's going to do a big collab with our neighbor. We don't know what that means. Threaten the landlord. One time it did sound like 3 to 5 people screamed in unison, like from the attic.
And not a good scream.
Yeah, it was like a petrified scream, like a really guttural, like life-threatening scream. And we kind of like texted him. We were like, what's going on up there? And he sent nothing in all caps with a period.
Yeah, he's always having dudes go up to his room for wrestling matches, just big, burly, tattooed, bald guys.
Yeah, and they cover their tattoos up on their way, and like you can see some of the tattoos, but they're wearing turtlenecks and like long sleeves. Like you could tell like gloves sometimes, and you're like, what are you hiding?
And I'm a big wrestling fan, so I know what wrestling sounds like, and that's wrestling.
Yes.
And he must be winning because all these guys leave, and they're like holding their arms or like putting ice packs on their heads. Like,
yeah.
He's giving it to them.
One of them had a thermometer, like an old-timey thermometer out of their mouth, like looking at the temp. And I was like, what?
I'm a little worried he's coming for the belt.
Yeah, he might try to wrestle you.
So I'll be ready, Bryson.
And one time, I haven't shared this with anybody until now, I did see a weird van pull up, and he kind of like hurried out of the house one night. And like I was up all night, I was pulling all-nighter working on some stuff, and he came back like 3 or 4 hours later when it was like dawn, like exhausted with like a muddy shovel, and like looked rough. And he's a weird guy. He's all over the place, and some of this sounds bad, and that's all we got. But dude, I think he's a good dude at the end of the day.
No,
and I think he's like troubled. I mean, I guess I'm biased. Maybe I'm being biased because I want him to. He's a childhood friend of mine.
Yeah.
I want to see. I really hope, like.
But if you guys know anywhere that's looking for a roommate, you can email us at it'sbeenawhilepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, again, it's got to be a good house to be able to take care of him. He is still in somewhat of a critical condition because of the firecracker. But he says thanks for any support that you guys have given him. He thinks he's really funny. And in the episodes, he's a little chaotic. But, if you listen to the Bryson episodes, we do thank you because that does help us out as well. It's just it's difficult to record with him sometimes. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. Bryson's a lot. But I'm glad we were able to explain this. This is kind of a long time coming. But with that.
And I'm glad it's documented just in case.
Yes. It is probably for the best that this is, like, kind of a cohesive Bryceston lore and backstory that we have. But it's been a while, folks.
Bye bye.
It's been a while.